and they have Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis. That's the state of boxing.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let
that sink in.
Jake
That's
Paul,
boxing right
Gervonta Davis is so crazy. 135 versus 200. That is so nuts.
They go, the rehydration limit or something is 195. And he goes, wait, I thought it was 190. Dean, that's bad. Because you know what that tells me? That tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for him. Yes. He recognizes that he's too big for him.
One thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, all kidding aside, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later.
Joe Rogan recently shared his thoughts on the highly anticipated clash between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, warning that things could get ugly. He pointed out the major weight difference between the two and reminded fans that weight divisions exist for a reason. Rogan explained that while Jake Paul's size and power could give him a clear advantage, Gervonta's skill, speed, and technique keep the matchup interesting. Still, Rogan believes the size disparity could make the fight risky and potentially unbalanced.
My opinion is, I just want to say, in case someone calls me into court, I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know nothing. And don't take my advice.
I love the Saudis.
Don't take my opinion.
I love the Israeli government. I love
That
everybody.
had nothing to do with them. That was Jake Paul promoting it. You know, it's just doesn't bother me.
There's compromising the sport, and that's like bad. It's just like
If I bet on it,
watching it with people who are so in on it, and then also the sports betting apps, they introduced like chat apps in them in Australia, so it's like they're trying to take the place of social media companies where you go together and you meet your friends. Like betting should be exciting enough without having a weird.
They're just trying to draw you in. They're just trying to make money, right? So they're trying to draw you in.
Joe Rogan has often highlighted how extreme the weight difference is between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. Jake typically competes near the cruiserweight limit, around 195 to 200 pounds, whereas Davis has spent most of his career at lightweight, hovering around 135 pounds.
It is happening. WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, who's unbeaten in 31 professional contests, takes on the self-proclaimed problem child, Jake Paul, one of the most influential and marketable global personalities. Paul and Davis square off in Miami after doubts around the fight being sanctioned in Georgia triggered a change in venue. Neither fighter can weigh more than 195 pounds. The weight is perhaps the most surprising factor. Paul has boxed most of his career around 200 pounds, the cruiserweight limit, but did tip the scales at 227 pounds when he faced off against Iron Mike Tyson last year. Davis, much smaller in stature, competes at the 135 pound mark and has also won world honours at super featherweight.
And despite some discussions about possibly dropping down to 10 ounces, the pair seem set to wear 12-ounce gloves.
And in terms of distance, despite the exhibition tag, the fight will play out over 10 3-minute rounds with 3 scoring judges at ringside, but the result will not be officially recorded.
Boxing purists and even some athletic commissions have voiced concerns about the massive size gap. Critics argue that a fight with such a clear mismatch would never be sanctioned under normal regulations. Even with special catchweight terms or exhibition status, they believe this kind of matchup challenges the fairness and credibility of the sport.
He should beat Jake Paul, shouldn't he?
No, he shouldn't.
You don't think... Sorry, so... I thought we were all unanimous here. You think Jake Paul beats Gervonta Davis?
70 pounds is 70 pounds.
Gervonta Davis is very small. 5'5".
He's tiny, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Jake Paul,
he's a little man.
If Jake Paul's tucking up,
move on,
and absorbing punishment for walking forward, then look, there's a way to run it.
Rogan views this potential matchup more as entertainment than a legitimate sporting contest. He remarked that a 135-pound fighter going up against someone around 200 pounds is just insane, stressing how unrealistic it is from a traditional boxing perspective. Rogan also expressed concern about the safety risks. When one fighter carries that much extra weight, their punches naturally generate far more power. That kind of imbalance increases the chance of serious injury, leaving the smaller fighter at a clear physical disadvantage despite having greater skill or experience.
In boxing, so you got Canelo Crawford, you got Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, that's happening, and then you have Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis. That's the state of boxing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let that sink in.
Jake
That's
Paul,
boxing right now.
Gervonta Davis is so crazy. 135 versus 200. That is so nuts.
They're all expedition.
None of them are.
Yeah, they're exhibitions.
But what does that mean?
Just means that you don't really. Nobody wins.
They're not. It's kind of. I mean,
It's weird.
I don't want Jake to assume they're not. It's not like a real scrap. It's not real.
Really? So they're not trying to knock each other out?
No.
Well, Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather don't like each other. They have not liked each other forever.
Tyson and Mayweather.
Yes,
But they like
Mike
money.
Tyson and Mayweather don't like each other.
Huh.
If there's a fight that might be real, like where Mike Tyson might say, "I'm gonna knock this out," or "I'm gonna try to knock this mother."
Due to the massive weight difference, organizers have decided to enforce a few special conditions for this matchup. The fight will officially be labeled an exhibition, meaning it won't affect either fighter's professional record. Additional measures include using larger gloves, setting a specific catch weight of 195 pounds, and appointing judges to score the bout, despite its exhibition status.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. But, and so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, like, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that like we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
Analysts like Daniel Cormier have shared similar concerns, pointing out that while Gervonta may be the more technically skilled boxer, the extreme weight difference turns the matchup into more of a spectacle than a true sporting contest. Cormier stressed that Jake Paul's size advantage is simply too great to ignore, calling the disparity far beyond what's typically allowed in professional boxing. He even questioned how a fight with such an obvious imbalance could be cleared by the governing bodies in the first place.
Completely just, it's, I can't say the word that I want to say because I don't want to get canceled, but this fight should not be happening, and the press conference was embarrassing. Gervonta Davis should not have a mic in front of him. It was absolutely embarrassing watching this thing.
D, why, D?
Just the fact that like every time when Jake Paul would say something to Gervonta Davis, he didn't know how to answer it. He was comparing himself to like P. Diddy at moments, and I was like, oh my God, get a mic away from this guy. This fight shouldn't be happening. And then he didn't even know what weight they were fighting. He's like, I thought
That's
it was
bad,
190,
D.
it was 195.
That was the craziest thing. That was the thing that stood out to me the most. Was that when they go, the rehydration limit or something is 195. And he goes, wait, I thought it was 190. Dean, that's bad. Because you know what that tells me? That tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for him. Yes. He recognizes that he's too big.
Cormier also highlighted a growing issue in modern combat sports: extreme weight cutting. Many fighters dehydrate themselves drastically just days before the bout to meet weight limits. When that's combined with a major size difference inside the ring, the risk multiplies. The smaller fighter faces a clear physical disadvantage, while the bigger one, often drained from cutting weight, can also be vulnerable. In a matchup like Paul versus Davis, where one fighter can rehydrate and step in much heavier, the imbalance becomes even more pronounced.
I think it's the most dangerous thing in the world. With us, we would go on Thursday night. If I weighed 216 and I had to be 205 by Friday morning, I would get as low as I possibly could and then try to go to bed. So if I get to 207, I would hope that by the morning I'd be 206. I'd only have to lose a pound in the morning. So I'm dehydrated for 12, 13, 14 hours. Those guys today are going to bed at that weight, Joe, 10, 11 over, and waking up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and cutting the weight. Because they said if they cut all that weight, they don't sleep, which I can attest to. It don't matter how much melatonin you take, you're so dehydrated. You're not gonna get a good night's sleep. I think it's dangerous.
Why is it dangerous?
Because you have to cut 10 pounds in 4 hours. If you don't, you're screwed. Because the worst possible feeling, you expect to lose 8, but you might lose 6 or 5.5. And then you're like,
Cormier also voiced his disbelief over how the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight was organized. calling the entire setup questionable from the start. He recalled the press conference where even Tank seemed unsure about what weight class the bout would actually take place in. For Cormier, that uncertainty wasn't a small oversight. It was a major sign of how unstructured and unusual the entire arrangement appeared. In a sport where weight divisions exist to maintain fairness and protect fighters, this lack of clarity raises serious concerns.
Jake Paul. Yesterday they had their first press conference. One of the most recognizable things is Jake Paul is huge compared to Gervonta Davis. And two, Gervonta Davis don't even know what weight they fight, D.
Maximum weight of 195 pounds for this exhibition. The fight will be contested over 10 3-minute rounds.
I said it was 190.
The fight is 195 pounds, Tank, as you know.
DC, I watched this, and we have our priorities way misplaced when we're talking about boxing. Like, everybody's complaining about this Ali act and all. Like, how is something like this allowed to happen? How is Jake Paul allowed to fight Gervonta Davis? It's
I don't know.
Completely unfair. It is completely just, I can't say the word that I want to say because I don't want.
Coach Calvin Ford has shared a cautiously optimistic view about the potential Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis matchup, though he's made it clear that several safety concerns remain. He acknowledged that the size difference is significant, but added that since Davis agreed to the conditions, there's no turning back. Ford's biggest issue centers around glove size. He noted that 12-ounce gloves are generally used for training, not actual competition. As a solution, he suggested Davis wear 8-ounce gloves, while Paul uses 10-ounce ones to create a fairer balance and reduce injury risk. However, Ford revealed that Paul's team rejected the idea, insisting on using the same gloves for both fighters.